afternoon, Joe here in the cottage. Oh crikey, it's warm outside. It's actually warm. I'm not going to say anything else in case we end up with rain in the next couple of days. Okay, so yesterday I uploaded, after a couple of comments last week from my live chat, uploaded the video recorded of me hemming my weave, which finally is finished. Yay, hey. Yeah, so I hemmed the edges off of that, weaved all the tail ends in. Hiya Bridie. Weaved in all the tail ends into my fabric, which will my weave, it's just now a fabric. Washed it and I filmed it all yesterday, and yes, it's dry. So okay, so this is the really, I mean, out of everything that you do from beginning to this moment in time, it feels stressful, because especially if you've never done one before, it's nerve-wracking, because you need to figure out whether you've actually woven enough fabric. All the maths in the world don't always work. And yesterday when I was taking it off my London Weave Master, there's such a big gap at the back beam for my weaving where I tie it onto the strapping. I'm going to have to figure out how to sort this out because it's ridiculous. I think on a rigid heddle loom, when you're putting on your weave and you tie it to the little tie bars, you have those extending cotton sections that you can put on. I don't have anything like that on my back beam, and I think in hindsight, if I thought forward, I would have put one on and then tied my ends to those cotton sections, or threaded a shorter heddle in, like a pickup stick or an old shuttle, the width of what I needed, and tied them to that, and then tied the ends of my warping to the end of that, which meant that I would have ended up with 6 inches towards the back of my shafts then. But I end up losing, oh crikey, a good, put me on your telly or your eyes are sore, oh sweetie, I can flame them well. That mist spray's amazing. Spray it on your eyes while they're closed and it really does help. Yes, so in hindsight, I should have done something like that, but I didn't, which meant that even though I gave myself an edging allowance for cutting off and hemming, I end up losing, I would say, about just shy of a foot of length. But when it comes to cutting out this pattern, I haven't done it all yet, but I've gone through to make sure that I had enough in the length to fit the panels in. So on my panel, I'll try and find, there you go. On my panel, I have to lay out my pattern all along the panel like this. Now, if you've made a mock-up, undo it. Unpluck all those stitches on your mock-up, because you've only got one back panel, one front panel, one arm sleeve, one collar, which you only need one collar, and one belt thing with my pattern. And on here, I need 2 of each. That's fine. If you lay it out, your fabric panel, on your floor or a long table, Iona, do you know, the cat and the dog have decided it's cleaning time. Get your long panel, put it on the floor or put it on a table like what I've had to do. And then, honestly, I'll move it backwards a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Turn you around. Okay. Oh, come on, menace. Right, so here's my fabric. Oh, look how loose that is. I haven't given a good thwacking in the sink, because I didn't want to lose too much of my edging, but it's enough that it's closed up the warping, the weft, and they're all really close and neat and tidy together. So I'm happy with the way it's come out. So I found, I got all my panels, and I started having a play around with the length. And on my pattern, I have to do a front panel, back panel, and the arms and everything else. But you have to lay it out in such a way that you will, they'll line up along each other. So there's the back panel here, and look how much fabric it takes over. I mean, I'm just here, and that's more than enough for what I needed anyway from my measurements. But what it meant, when it came to, I did not do it, well, I can get 2 of these on, no problem. But when it came to actually the end, if I'd have put in this side panel, the front, no, this is the back panel, that's the front panel. If I'd have put in the front panel to the end, I would have ended up not having any sleeves left. But I'm saved because the width of my weave is actually more than enough to accommodate 2 back panels, which is what I've done already, because I had a bit of a moment, I'm like, oh, I'm going to fix this. So I've cut, I'm just going to very gingerly move these. I've cut 2 panels, and that's both my back pieces, and they're done. Now, when they're at this stage, be ever so careful. Though it's all the fibres are sort of joining in together and everything else, you have still got your weave ends that haven't been attached and bought, which I'm going to go over that with you in a minute, because if you haven't, not everybody has got an overlocker sewing machine, which is ideal for this situation. So I'm just going to roll this up again, because that is my 2 back pieces cut out and ready. Do you know, I touch it like it's a China doll, just the most delicate of touches. I don't even want, I wish I could just hover from this point to that chair, but it's not going to do it. So ever so carefully, try not to touch the edges if I can help it, so it doesn't fray anymore. So I'm going to get my pins. I have actually adjusted this measurement as well. On the large, when I put the jacket on, hold on a sec, I'll just get it for you. Just here. When I put the jacket on, I do feel like it's far too baggy. Just point you up again. Good, you're going to feel like I'm all over the place and seasick today. So I do feel like it's too baggy. So, this is what the whole point of doing the mock-up is about. So that's it there. And I've definitely got more than enough allowance to adjust. So what I've done, and the bottom of it sits down here. So between hip, well, here's the joint of my leg here. So I'm quite happy to lose a little bit of length. So I've taken just shy of an inch off the bottom of my pattern. I've taken the same distance off the shoulder. I've left the neck the way it is, because at the end of the day that doesn't really matter about when it comes to cutting out anyway. But I've snipped back the same distance on the arm here, and I've folded down back down to a medium length, whereas originally it was on a large, and then down the bottom I have folded over about an inch on my hem, because I feel like I really can make that bit of a sacrifice. Now that I've made the mock-up, I can see what it is that I've got room for manoeuvres and for adjustments to make sure that my fabric now fits. Next stage, pin it in place, and then it's the cutting out again. Oh dear. Bridie, you're suffering down there in the heat. It is getting hot. It was 21 degrees here by 10 o'clock this morning. To be fair, I haven't ventured out. I've been trying to sort and package my my rovings. So I'm just going to pull this forward a touch, just so I can reach the other end of this. And I'm lining it up with the slevage end of my weave, because this section here, okay, is my bit that's going to sit in the middle, whereas this end is going to be my hem, where I'm going to sew it together once I've done my fixing seam. So I know I've got enough room to do another one. So she gets you to fit them in different ways. So I'm just going to pull out this section here. So on my pattern I've got version B. So when I put, right, there's a front left and front right. Hold a sec. Oh crikey, I've got to flip it over. No, it's fine. It'll be exactly the same, doesn't matter whether it's 6.5, it doesn't really. So the way she gets you to do the fit the paneling out is so you can get the best out of the fabric that you've got, and the most loose sections, like for your belt and your collar and everything else. So I'm just going to get on with cutting this now. Oh, this bit really is, I just need to move that back a bit. Right, make sure my pattern's flat. I'm not cutting all the way to the edge of my pattern, just in case it's slightly pulling underneath. So I'm just, it's one of those fabrics where it moves all the time. So up against my shoulder section here, and because it's up the top and I'm not cutting any more up this section, I can make myself allowances for a little bit of extra give at the side. So just a slight curve on this section, just push that down and round. Right, it's hot. I just about caught that then, Bride. It's hot where you are. Oh, crikey, you've just pulled that. Oh, with flaming bangle, go take this off. I'll just pull that up. Right, let that settle again, so I've not got any puckered areas on my fabric and no areas that are going to stretch, so that when I cut down I don't end up with a wonkiness. Oh, tell you what, this is one of the most nerve-wracking moments. It's like cutting that 2 meters of favourite fabric that you've got and the hopes that you've done it right. Right, so I'm just going to fold this piece back because this will end up being my belt and my collar. So I'm just going to pull that up a little bit because I need to reach. Oh, stop moving. I need to reach in along here. Oh, I'm going to have to get some new fabric scissors that have been used for more things other than fabric. I swear they've been used for cutting cardboard. Oh, nearly lost it then. All right, let's pull that up a bit and fold it over. Okay, it's one piece pulled out, so I'm just going to take my pins back out for that one. Oh, okay, so that's one done. One panel, can you see? So there's the arm section there where it's got that curve all the way around there, and then the neckline and the shoulder. Honestly, I don't want to touch it. I haven't trimmed all my tail ends yet, so I usually do it as I go along. When I see them I pick them and then I'll catch them when I do the inspection of it all afterwards. So I'm just going to plonk that piece gingerly over there. Now get my other one and get this all lined up and measured as well. Right. Okay, so I'm just going to do the same because I've ended up having to adjust with the length that I've got and cut the pieces already earlier. I don't know if it make any difference in doing it straight from here. See, because I feel like I'll lose a bit, or maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, where are we at? So where's the straight bit on there? See, now if I do it this way, because I've got this section up here, then my collar should actually fit in there without a problem. And it doesn't really matter for me with this pattern because there's no right side or wrong side on my weave. It looks the same front and back anyway. So I think just on that thought of I don't want to waste my fabric, keeping with the ethos of Sarah, I think I'm just going to leave it like that. Where's my pins? Of course I hide under my fabric. So I'm just going to pin this in place so it doesn't move when I'm cutting. Come on. Are you down the shop today, Bridie? School holidays. Oh, God. Do you know, you don't see kids around in this village from one week to the next. This year, we've been here 3 years and I didn't even know teenagers existed in this village. But I've seen quite a few. Oh, right, one more in this section here. Oh, come on in. And one over here just to stop it from wobbling. That'll do. Right, so again, cut my collar. I'm not wanting to pull the fabric, I'm literally just holding. And here, top it again. Around the arm. With it being a hand woven, you will feel like it wants to give a little bit more than what you would do with the manufactured. In other words, it's got a mind of its own. It likes to move around as you're moving it. So that's why I'm making sure that I'm not just cutting right on the edge of the line. I'm giving myself just not even half a centimetre, just a few mils from the edge of my pattern so that I've got that allowance of that gentle pull of the fabric when I'm cutting it, so I don't end up with like wobbly ends. Right, so I need to pull this fabric all in one go. Oh, it's the sleeves that I'm dreading doing next. So there we go. Where are we at? In there and along here. I'm just hoping that I have enough to do the sleeves, because as Sarah says in her instructions, that the sleeves are the greediest piece when it comes to the fabric, and it's just like, oh crikey, am I actually, because I haven't even looked at putting down the sleeves on this yet. I thought the most important bit was the body, and I'm really dreading doing the sleeves next. So there is my second piece, and I'll just cut off these little tail ends while I'm here. I sometimes just leave these tail ends until after I've got it all sewn together, when I'm going through all my final bits. There's another piece there. Anyway, so that's another piece done. Let's put that to one side. I need my pins. Not that I haven't got enough. Right, so my pins, take them out. One more, and that one there. Take that off there. I don't need this anymore, but I am just going to keep it layering the top, the back and the front sections, so there's a gap between them all. So there's, I've got two of these now. So there we go. So there is the shoulder and the neckline, and there all the way down to the bottom. So I'm just going to gently fold that over, and that's two more pieces. Now the dreaded bit. Let me just see how much I've actually got in fabric left over. Oh crikey. Oh look, literally there to here. Oh. This is the moment I'm like, oh no, I've not got enough. Right, so I need two of these. Now, can I make any adjustments? I can't make any adjustments in the sleeves. So how am I going to... So she suggests, when I'm laying them out, to have the sleeves sat. Can you see that? Side by side. And I genuinely don't think I have enough. Let me just see. No. So I've got to now think, Iona, can you stop with the licking? Can I adjust anywhere in the width of the thing? So the sleeves are not, I mean, I know that the whole process for me has been humongous anyway. So I'm going to bring in the width of that sleeve there and the width of that sleeve there, because if I go and put the top back on now, you'll be able to see that I have plenty room for my actual, where is it? Stop it, that dog's so flipping annoying. Stop it. So I've put the coat on. I have got plenty room in here to allow for a little bit of reduction, and I need to really, I think, so I have one or two, hiya Maureen, I have one or two solutions that I could use to allow for not being able to fit both my sleeve panels on. Right, so think about this, Joe. So if that's going to sit in there, and I have got lots of fabric left over. Now I've got to do my collar and I've got to do my belt. So I'm just, and then I'm going to end up with this wastage here as well. And I'm just trying to think now of how I can get this to fit over that other side. So you can see what I've got here to play with. It's not a lot of room for manoeuvring. Right, so if I was to flip that over, that's the point. No, can't flip it over. I know that's the point I've got to get to. So that's there. No, I genuinely have not got enough space on this bit of fabric. This is because I lost that foot at the back of my loom. Right, okay, so alternatively, Joe is thinking now, how can I change the solution? Right, what I'm going to do first before I do anything else, because it might help. Right, I'm going to pull up the fabric I've got left over and get this collar and get the belt cut out now. Right, that's the collar, and I only need a medium. I don't need a full length size collar, and I've cut collar on the fold. I'm not going to cut the collar on the fold, and I'll tell you why I'm not cutting the collar on the fold, because I'm going to reinforce my collar with some denim. So I'm quite happy for that to be exactly where it is. So I'm just going to get my pins. See, this, just got to think on the spot. Got to think, right, what can I do that's going to make it still look really, really good? But I ain't no professional. These things happen, and if the back end of my flipping loom hadn't swallowed up the last time I wore, I wouldn't be having this problem. I would just and so have enough room to do this last piece. So I'm just going to cut this collar pattern out, and I'm going to keep this attached because I'm going to cut out, I've got some really lovely heavy duty indigo denim underneath here. So I shall cut that out in a sec. I'll rootle it out, get it cut out, and then this is the collar that sits at the back of the neck on the coat. Right, we'll get there. I'll figure it out. I will figure it out, even if it kills me. If it means I have to add on some sections left over from these, right, so that is my collar. So I'm just going to stick that to one side and leave the paper on it, because I'm going to go and get that cut. So this is the belt. Now it says two belts. Now I ain't no Slim Jim, so I was thinking 3 sections, because it's just not wide enough. If you look at the belt on this picture, there's no way. Oh okay, that's why it's 2. Okay, so I've never noticed before, she actually sewn the belt in the side. That's why the two sections wouldn't fit. I was thinking belt, not a attached belt into the hem of the sides. Fine, that's not a problem. So I am going to go now and stretch this out a little bit and cut my hem. Now I don't really want to go any higher than that. Can I get away with putting this on here and then cutting up? I think I might. So that's straight anyway. I'm going to give it a little bit of room. I'm just going to free in along this line. Oh, come on. Freehand cut that. Just hold that in place. Doesn't wobble too much. And keep going there. So like with anything that you do in life, you've got to find a way to adapt without looking at it thinking, do you know what, I can't be doing with this, I don't know how to fix it. I mean, I've got plenty of wool left over, short of getting my little loom out and weaving up a section of thingy. So there's one belt. I'll put that there so it's out my way. I don't know, is that wide enough? Oh, it is just and so wide enough. Okay, so I'm just going to literally cut that there. Right, so cut that there and then cut this all the way up. All the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Right. Okay, so that's me managed to get my two belts and a collar out from the sections I've got left over. Now is the moment where I need to really start to think. I need to think, ladies. Right, so I have this long panel left over. I have one of two solutions playing around in my head now. So if I fold over this big piece that I've got left and then see, right, think, how can you do this, Joe? I'm thinking. Anybody got an idea? I'm thinking in my head to, no, not that way, because I've got this art yarn in here. If I fold it over this way, widthwise over, and I have got this humongous piece left. Now, what can I do? 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 Right, so I'm thinking, if I fold over the pattern that I've got into half, knowing that I have got to, will that work? Or would it be better off adding a section here? Right, hold on a minute. Fold that over in half. Will that panel piece here be wide enough to adapt for the missing piece that I may have to sew on? Okay, let me see. Do you know what? I might have just redeemed myself. Okay, so is there enough for two of these? Oh. Just do so. If I cut out two panels from my waist for here, cut out this half on the big piece, and then I can sew them both together. Even if I put a piece of denim in between as a band, that may, right, so let's just, I'm thinking about this because it'll end up just being on one arm. So if I put that down there, okay, right, but my tassels need to stay off fold. So forget about that section there, Joe. You've got that sorted. What you need is enough fabric now. Yes, cut that on the fold. So I've got this folded over. So because my sleeve's folded over, and I've adapted it with that piece inside, so ignore that piece inside. This is the bit that I need for me to be able to adjust to get this right. I want to, so I'm going to have got that there and got that there. Right, so look at this, ladies. Right, think you've got it sussed. So I have got to here and here. So this, straighten that out again. Fold your sleeve. Don't worry about this section because this is going to be here. This has got no hem allowance on this measurement anyway. So I've folded it over. I've got folded fabric here. Even if I give myself a good centimetre allowance for when I sew this panel onto the rest of the sleeve to give me the length I need, I still have more than enough left over. Oh, Joe, you redeem yourself, lady, every single time. I don't know how you do it. So it's sorted. We will manage it. Thankfully, I made this fabric a lot wider than I needed. But what I'm going to do now is just shunty this up so I don't waste any fabric. Okay, I don't want to waste it. If I can save a piece, I can save a piece, which would be perfect. Okay, where's the middle on this? Middle here. Okay, so I'm going to wish me luck, ladies. I think I might need it. So that is the middle there. So if I put my top hem in that middle section, that gives me over an inch on this side. And if I flip it over to there, it gives me over an inch on that side, which gives me more than enough leeway and a little bit extra for the other half of the sleeve. Okay, so once I've done this, I will then get my sewing machine out in a minute for you ladies, and I will show you what I do so that I can actually, pardon me, secure my cuts in place. So I'm just going to come in from this side now, and I'm not going to bother I'm not even going to bother pinning it down. I am just going to cut my sleeve all the way around. Right, keep going, keep going, keep going. Right, go back over the other side and cut that straight there. So, ooh. And I'm just following the natural line of that pattern piece. I'm not going to touch that, and I'm literally going to flip that over. It's on the fold. Oh, I think we've done it, girls. I think we've just done it. So it's sitting on the fold, cut all the way around. See, my survival instincts kicked in. Wasn't going to let it beat me, not for anything. Right, so I'm coming in this way now. If I move my blinking basket out of the way and cut this. Okay, right. Okay. So there is 1/2 of a sleeve panel. Right, now I need to cut this piece, but what I'm going to do, because I can always tape it back because obviously it's fiddly, I'm just going to cut that right across there. I'll just tape it back together with some masking tape later on. It's not a biggie. And then cut that along there. Then I can do that with this other piece. So that to one side. There's the other piece. That to one side. The other piece. That's my waist. Just chuck it on the floor, Joe. Right, let's see. Oh, look. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Right. And that piece there. See? See? Right. Snippy, snippy, snippy. All the way along. Give myself a little extra gap at the side here. Snip, 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 snip. Oh, I'm so proud of myself. I am so proud of myself at this moment in time. Whoa. Honestly, ladies, it is achievable, but you really do need survival instincts. There's nothing in life that you can't achieve if you can make your own clothing, weaving your own fabric. Especially when you haven't got enough. Oh, stop moving. Just stop moving. Oh, right. Okay. Just give that a little trim up there. And I'll get my pins out in a minute and we'll pin this piece into place. Crikey. Do you know, I'm so glad I brought myself up a bass shandy. Right, okay, so where are we at next? This piece here. And cut this bit. So on the edge there, just give myself a little bit of allowance on the side of this pattern. Okay, yep, and on this side, oh, and after all that, I might actually have some fabric left over for making a pocket. I didn't think I'd had enough for my sleeves 5 minutes ago. All right, and then up there, up there, up there. Right, so if I get one of my sleeves and turn it the way I don't want it, oh no, I want it that way, and then this piece here needs to fit on there, like that, and so, and I will hem those two pieces together in a moment. I shall just get myself some pins. Make sure that they're sitting flush. So that needs to be sewn together to create one full arm. And go, so that's one piece, and you will end up with the full arm once it's stitched. Obviously my needles, my pins are sticking in an awkward direction, and do the same with the other bit. Oh, wrong way. Which way do I want it? That way. Oh, Joe, do you know those moments your brain's just decided it doesn't want to work anymore? I'll have one of them now. Right, so I want that on there. I want that on there. Honest to goodness, my brain refused to work. It went on strike for about 5 seconds. Right, so I've already done a fair whack of that one anyway, and then is that fit? There we go. And that one there, in, in, and in. Okay, sorted. Sleeves done. Just have to sew them together, and I will say that I probably end up with a bit of a longer sleeve than what I originally thought I'd end up with, and it's definitely a lot better than not having any sleeves, because a sleeveless jacket is only seasonal. Right, pins done. Okay, so I've cut all those out. So an alternative idea that you can use when it comes to getting your fabric ready and secure, I'm going to hem all of mine, and I would advise, your brain shut off when there was a lining bag day yesterday. Do you know, it was one of those moments of, oh my giddy aunt, am I going to sort this out? I know I've got to look professional. We're about as professional as a circus ant. Anyway, so, right. There are alternatives. As she suggests, I have no idea what I've done with the pamphlet. It was up there the other day. So, get your tailor's chalk and cut your draw your pattern out on your fabric, okay? So, get your tailor's chalk, do some really good markings on there. And then get yourself some Bondo web. Iron on hemming. But just get the one that's one-sided, so a bit like a masking tape. You could, I mean, suppose you could use something like a masking tape if you really wanted to as well. And literally just follow the line on the outside of your pattern, and then cut it out, and then it's stuck in place. The masking tape will hold those stitches in place. Or, as I say, the Bondo web, use that and literally get your iron. Put your Bondo web into little strips, unless you can. I buy mine in sheets, so I would cut myself out maybe 1.5 centimetres thickness if I was buying it, because I buy it by the metre because I use so much of it. So yeah, cut yourself thin strips, lay your pattern onto your fabric and pin it in place, and then lay your Bondo web in between the fabric and your pattern. Iron it so it holds that onto the fabric in place, then cut it out, and then you can take that safely to the sewing machine and then hem it. Well, you're not hemming it, what you're doing is edging it. So the stitch that I use, I haven't got an overlocking sewing machine, but I do use a stitch on my sewing machine that helps do this. And I'll oh, that was tangy. I'll just grab the sewing machine now. Everything in this house is so dusty at the moment. Oh. I had to gloss all my stairs yesterday. Carpets come next week and my line up in the bathroom. So I've been hoovering like a fiend. Scrubbing things, washing stuff down. And as soon as you've washed something down, you've got to go back and do it again. Right, where are we at? My plug. Yeah, it's on. Right, so I'll move you around this way so you can see what I'm doing, and I will try and get the sewing machine in a position where you can actually see what I'm playing at. So, just going to move you around. The child. Okay, so I'm just gonna get you stuck in here. Excuse the lamp. You know, Joe, you really are a menace. Okay, so I'll take you off in a second because I'll show you what it is that I use on my sewing machine for doing an overlocking stitch. Now I've got a Singer sewing machine, and I use, let's take you off there, see if I can fling you around. Right, so I've got a sewing machine, of course I've got a sewing machine. Right, so I have got all these stitches around here, and I generally go for one of these zigzags with the line stitch along, or not one of those. So I've got this triangular one here with a constant line. You can use one of these stitches. I wouldn't advise the T one. You've got that red one there, and then oh crikey, and then you've got that one in the middle, which is the one that I was going for. So I just need to turn my clunker round to that setting. So you want a zigzag, but you want at least 1 or 2 lines on your stitch for you to use this, and then you want to sew this as close to the edge of your fabric as you can. So I'm just going to plonk you back up here again and turn you around. Oh, okay. Oh dear. Do you know, Joe, you're so disorganised. I'm not actually. I've been busy doing stuff this morning. I've got bags of stock everywhere, and it looks like I'm going to have to fill my bobbin up at some point in a minute as well. So I will tilt you down. I will try and watch out for questions. So I'll do this on my belt first, and then you can see this stitch actually being practical. Which way am I best going? This way first. So it's ever so gingerly do this. Where's my treadle? There it is. So I'm just going to be really careful, take my time, and you'll be able to see in a minute. Flaming bobbins ran out. No, it's not. Why isn't it catching? Right, that doesn't make no sense. Come on, sewing machine. Why aren't you playing? Right. Okay, that's just weird. Come on. Snag that off. I don't know why that's not doing as it's supposed to do. Come on, try again. There we go. You had no fabric to sew into. Okay, so just going along. And then literally, the end of the fabric is sitting on this side of the pedal, of the foot. And I'm going to do this with every single piece of fabric that I've now got cut out before I even sew the pieces together. Keep going to the end, and I'll show you in a sec what it looks like. Oh. Do you know, it stopped doing it? I'm sewing along there and it's not even catching. Flipping sewing machine. Do you know, the moment that you really need it is the moment it decides it doesn't want to play anymore. Right, what's going on? Why isn't my thread catching underneath? No, it's not catching. That's bonkers. Totally bonkers. Right, so I have managed to catch a little bit, but no, it's not doing it. Do you know, some days, why won't you catch? Right, let me see. I can't try that one. I can't try that one. That's just bonkers. Why won't you work? You're on the right one. You're not catching the thread underneath. No. Right, I've got a funny feeling my bobbin's not threaded through. Hey. That'll be what's wrong. I totally forgot. I had a different thread on this the other day. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. Right, shall we go again? This fabric's not going to like me after the next few minutes. Right, go again. Sometimes, Joe, you just need to check your flipping bobbin. I hope I'm not the only one out there that does these stupid things. Right. Oh, what is it now? Bobbin needs changing. Right, so after all that kerfuffle, can you see there that edging stitch will stop this from fraying anymore? See, there's a piece that's there and it's not coming out anywhere. Okay, not a single bit. So use a zigzag stitch, because time now, we're at 52 minutes. So use a zigzag stitch on your sewing machine that has at least 1 or 2 straight lines, and you want it there because it's gonna hold those fibers into place with its stitch on the outside. Okay, now don't worry if your zigzag stitch only has 1 line on one side and your zigzags are going on the edge of your fabric. It should really make no difference, but what you're really wanting to do is just make sure that it catches all those fabric ends all the way along. This is my belt section, so I'm going to carry on doing this with my belt. I might finish it off with a piece of denim just to secure it in place, so I know it's really, really strong. But this is going to get sewn into the edge of my coat when I put my front and back seams together, and the belt's going to sit in here. So I want it to be quite sturdy. Not that I'm going to be using it for much for weight anyway, but I want it to have a little bit of strength in backbone. So I may cut out a piece of denim in a second and add that. And I'll just grab my denim before I get on too much. Where is it? There it is. So I have this couple, I think I've got about 2, I think it's about 2, maybe 3 meters, and it is a very, it's not overly thick, but it's a decent denim, which will give it a bit of stiffness in the back of the belt and in the collar section that goes up around my neck. So that's what I plan on doing. So you just have 1 or 2 moments. You either I video now me actually doing all the edging and do as a speeded up version video for next week, so you can see how I've got on, or I just carry on and doing this and then save sewing it together to next Wednesday. Or would you like me to just film it all and just come on for a proper natter next Wednesday anyway and do something different? Because I have actually got my Will Pop-Up show next week, so I will be around for a chat, but I have got other things that I really need to get on with. But I will be here for a chat regardless anyway, and I want this finished. And if it looks smart, then I'll be wearing it to the Will Pop-Up show next Wednesday. So yeah, so triangular stitch with at least 1 line setting on your sewing machine. I've got a Singer Fashion Mate, which I think is the 3333 series of the Singer. So I've got those different settings and everything else. My old sewing machine didn't, but it definitely had a zigzag stitch with at least 1 line along it, which is just a sewing machine basic stitch. So yeah, so put in the comments below what you would like me to do a video doing all the fixing of the edges for next week, because I'll probably do that this afternoon. Yeah, because it's dye day tomorrow, and I've got locks in the sink. I've got BFL locks in the sink. I need to get them dyed today. And I've got to get them more painting. I've got an entire landing, stairs and hallway to get decorated before next Thursday, when my carpet comes to get fitted in my lino in my bathroom, and I just haven't got enough hours in the day. So, suggestions down below when you watch this on the pre-recorded version tomorrow. Suggestions for anybody that's sitting here now. Bridie and Maureen, if you're still here, sweetie, just drop a comment and I will see it once it goes up on the pre-recorded tomorrow, because I don't get access to the chats, and I can try as much as I like to try and look at it, and it just doesn't let me. If I don't catch the chat while it's coming through, then I'm stuffed. I don't see it. It's not that I'm being rude. I genuinely don't know what it is that I've been asked. So yeah, leave your comments below. If you like this video when it comes back up on pre-recorded tomorrow, hit that subscribe button. I really, really appreciate it. And let people know about me. I keep getting comments, so I didn't know you existed. And I'm like, well, yes, I've been here for 47 years. But you mean YouTube? Yes. So I've got loads of videos. I think I've got about 130 or 140 videos on my YouTube channel now. So yeah, there's more to come. And I'm always getting asked to do videos or suggestions of videos that people want me to do. And I will work them all in at some point or another. It just gives me good ideas to write down. So we'll pop-up show next Saturday, if I don't mention it again. I've got to keep on mentioning it. Hume Hall on the Wirral. I'm there, and I've got loads, and I'm just now at that point where I'm thinking what else I can take with me. So I'm looking at maybe doing some fibre blending packs, so putting some packs together of fibres that I'd put together if I was carding it on my own, thinking offer on your blending boards to make rollags. So I'm thinking about that. So I'll probably message you later on, Bridie, and bounce some ideas off you. Anyway, it is 57 minutes and 9 seconds, and I shall take my leave, everybody. Thank you very much. Take care of yourselves and go out there and enjoy that sunshine. Get some spinning done. Take care. Bye from the animals. Iona. Yeah. She's disinterested. She needs a wee-wee. Right. Take care of yourselves and I will speak to you soon. Bye.